facts, and shared ideas. Now, I'd like to propose a political idea to help the border, the southern borders of the United States, as a trade for the payment of the country of Texas be paid in full by the wall for Mexico's reimbursement. We don't have to now. We don't have to be apart from the United States. We can now join the Union of the United States, and we can separate from Mexico and have a ban, meaning no trade, no coming back and forth, a treason of war or act of war, and put it at go for the 22 shotgun. We'll go ahead and blow your head off. You go down there and rot. These are harsh words, but it's the only thing that seems logical to talk about, because we're talking about what we think is more important: protection over what we really don't have population. We've already reached our population limit. We cannot sanctify. We cannot take on. We're sinking. We're imploding as a united country. We're not a united country. We are imploding as a country. We're taking on more people than we can accommodate. We can't even afford the rent. We can't afford to pay taxes. Everybody's going hungry. We can't even afford to feed the people that are hungry or house the people that don't have no housing. Yet 100 people from Mexico a day come here by Greyhound Catholic community centers and help for Hispanics looking for refugee help. And they are protected here like deer of wild kingdoms. Well, I'm sorry, but there needs to be a population limit. Once you reach the limit, you are then cut off or must move to another location in the United States to thin population and help with taxes and being able to feed and cover your fees to be able to live. Otherwise, stick it. Quit fucking and start stroking. Sorry about the comments. I'm trying to think. Quit doing it. One goal in trying to change your own type of habits to not have the same outcome is the devastation we've already got as I think, a critical point in United States history. We are at every high efficient. We're at every high immediate emergency level that you could possibly think of. We are maxed in hospitals, maxed on the street, maxed tax, maxed. Nobody has money in the bank anymore. We can't afford it. We can't afford the checks to write. Nobody in this country can afford nothing. We are divided. We no longer help one another. This world is no longer a country of we stand together or help one another. Love has definitely imploded this world. I pray every day that somehow that Revelations is not a delusion or a metaphor for the end of the world. I pray every day that somehow the sun will spin out, hit the world, and suck it into Milky Way, and that it will be totally disintegrated and be relieved of the stresses of the world. Only when I do not take my meds can I feel any of the extreme things that I go through daily. The things that I intake into my body and try to turn into common sense and to love and to keep biting off the same things that kill me daily and keep biting off that same energy or that same thing, trying to make it a difference and coming up with the same result, which is, why do I care? You damn sure don't care. Now you care about me taking up your space to replace me with 1,000 people that aren't from here or that don't deserve it here or that can't afford it here, but you're willing to somehow try to make fun for that. As long as you can get rid of me. Now my parents are dead. They can no longer threaten me with death. They've haunted me. They threatened me. They beat me. They held me and they locked me in my, in the sheds. They have broken my right leg in a corridor. They threatened me with taking me out to a Hell's Angels gang and killing me there, stuffing me away, killing me. My mom threatened to get rid of me by killing me. The school tried to get rid of me by kicking me out of school because they said gay was a mental disease. Um, I've been fighting every day just to stay alive. For 19 years, I've been, a prisoner of my own location where I was raised. I couldn't go out of the area without an adult accompanying me. According to the opinion of my Del Valley uh, independent school district and psychiatrist that told my family he needs to have an adult accompanying with him anywhere he goes outside. Why? Well, he seems to be having a lot of social issues. He doesn't understand. He has a a problem. You know what the development was? My parents and family would not let me express myself because it expressed truth and facts, which otherwise would lead them into prison and me into orphanage. I had to hide everything I knew because I knew, and they told me that they knew, if I opened my mouth, they'd go to prison and they'd get somebody outside to come and get me and they'd make sure I disappeared. And then they'd be free again and finally get to live where I started. And I never could understand, but now I know. And when they finally all died, except my third cousins that never heard any of this shit, all these lies that were covered on the outside like sprinkles on a donut, and me being the rotted donut underneath the sprinkle. I don't show my face right now because I I I I almost want to say I regret the breath I take because I lived a life for almost 35 years before I could escape this central Texas area. And then I still had to escape and go 4 states away, 2,400 miles away, just to get away from my mom's danger of killing me, taking me away, putting me in the state protection, putting me in federal custody, taking my life, my peace, my freedom away. But other people from other countries come here and we give them what? We give them safety of being for being here and not being in a land of being in fear. But I lived in fear on this street for 19 years. I stayed in my bedroom for 85% of that time, looking out of 2 windows. I got to know 2 trees from those 2 windows. Watched every leaf come onto the tree, inch by inch. I watched them go from just 6 inches to 38 feet and then fall. One still lives. I have 26 pecan trees surrounding the yard. Can't enjoy none of it. I have a yard I can't even look outside because I was assaulted and I fear all the time with panic. I walk on eggshells. I'm always on alert, emergency alert, because I never know when somebody's going to come hurt me next. Somebody's going to come and take it from me. Somebody's going to come take the last breath I have, because I have to be on guard because I never know who else is out to get me. Who else is looking to hurt me? This is not the first time I've been assaulted. This is not the first time I've been raped or sexually molested. And it's manipulating in my mind and diluting in my mind how I try to even understand to get over it and try to make something of my life. I have a ton of education that I've researched on my own in solitude. 758 years of my family's origins and genetics. I know at least 700 years of Texas history. I know at least 80 different families that originated from here or started their family here, with at least 8,000 different slaves of blacks, whites, different European white people, Dutch, German, all of those were considered slaves and worked for the government or Washington under a contract to work the land here to feed the North. My family were one that had contracted workers come down here to grow the stuff to feed the rich, fat people up there while we froze and we sweated and we worked for nothing or little to nothing. Bologna was a nickel. 5 slices of bread was 10 cents. 100 pounds of cotton all day long that was picked to cut your fingers every day and made them stiff, hard to move, and your back bent over, and faded hair every day that you worked 30, 40 years in big hot cotton patches was the only work that was back here in the 30s and 40s. And the Great Depression was the only thing to do, unless you were into oil. And then you had to do a whole crop to keep your family and the North fed. And then on top of that, you had all of your contracted workers that needed to be fed, housed. Nobody from the state, city, or county recognized us for doing any of that. We never got a plaque, a certificate, a thank you, or kiss my ass. Excuse me, kiss my rear. But do I sit and contemplate how to change revenge? How do I make up for lost time? No. But I'll tell you what you can do. Unite, you do not know. Make amends where you have been wrong. If you've done something wrong, ask for forgiveness, because we know we're in hell. I was born in hell. I already know it. I was born chained to this planet as a prisoner of war. The war began between the angels and Satan and God, the Father. It began long time ago. We are still prisoners of war here. We're taking on more prisoners of war, refugees, and we do not have nowhere to put them or place them. Promising the promise we can't even get ourselves, that are already been here 750 years of generations. We can't get that peace. We can't get that promise. What makes you think we can promise you anything? And what makes the refugee areas a treaty that we can own up to? What makes the truth of that, other than the paperwork that you see, truthful? What part of the science, government, law, or code, or whatever you want to call it, what exactly puts in your mind thinking that that is even physically or scientifically or politically even a possibility? Wasn't there Einstein that used to make it? Even if a kite with a key on it made something, it provides us still for a whole world of lights to help us get around. For that little light to help us get to the bathroom or to help us down them stairs. But it's the little things that get you there. And if you don't have one thing, you have nothing. But the promise, the peace, and the freedom we have not. We were promised it, but we still have not gotten it. This country, this land has never had the peace, the promise, or the united. We have not had any of the promises made that have ever come through. None of them. And everybody keeps reminding us of all the political parties. Oh, we must do this to help them. The students must help them. I'm sorry. I've had to give back everything that I've ever been given. And I've had to live from foot to mouth. Sometimes eating grass, eating tobacco, even eating paper. But I couldn't just say, well, it's your fault. You work. You can help me. You can feed me. I never said that. Can't even claim to. I can't say, well, I'm from another country. You have to give me, you have to give me automatic grace and or automatic, automatic, name, social security, and everything. You have to let me live here because you're gonna protect me. No, there's no promise here. We we came here on wagons. We brought the colonial homes down here, put them on new. My grandfather and my uncle put new foundations downtown and put all them colonial homes on them and retorted them, refinished them, put them up there with all the rich people. Then we moved our ass up, our readers up on these hard places that has no water, had no electricity. But it took everything within 40 years of made savings to pay for it just to be able to house 5 people, barely able to walk around in the home because it was only 20 by 20, 3 small rooms, crowding, still going to food pantries, still borrowing, still doing side jobs, everything you could to scrounge, and maybe have gravy and bread for dinner. Might be your only meal. Scrounged. Our government didn't come through. Oh, $17 food stamps. And the office was 20 miles away. Took $7 of gas for the $20 food stamps. I was just to the office to get the food stamp paper. To take it to the grocery store, which was another 7 miles, which was $3, which left $10 for milk, bread, coffee, filters, eggs, possibly, maybe one little treat for Michael, maybe a 25-cent Coca-Cola, or maybe I got to sit up in front without getting whipped because I didn't be still, or I didn't cease talking. Shut up, Michael. You make no sense. You don't make no sense. Shut up. You never learn anything if you don't listen. I never talked. Now that's all I do. I find it redundant that people live in that home. You don't have that home, that car. You're not in that group, and you're not included in the functions to go to. They will not pick you up, not to. You probably won't even be able to re-enter into church weekly because eventually you'll get voted out as to please don't come again. Or we don't have a pantry. We're sorry. They do. They have it only for church members. They choose to opt out of that because they choose to shun you away because they're scared of what they're bringing to the church. I talked to many ministers that couldn't even answer after the first conversation. They didn't want to talk. Oh, I don't have time right now. Sure you do. God's got time for you. We're the congregation. You should have time for us every day. You have no job. Your job is to make sure I get connected to God so I can get this church congregated. The best places are your worst enemies, including your home. You see, I have been intubated from the inside of my soul and tore down completely from my muscles off my bones, from my soul down to my heart, from all the blood in my body has now been tainted by the worst disease that is killing all around the world with no type of cures. I got the worst of every evil. No family, no support, no friends I can trust, and everybody's out to get me. You know how I know? I don't watch TV anymore because I'm scared I'm going to find it. And YouTube? Oh, Lord. Trump, please get off the fucking media. Get off the media so I can quit being paranoid. Because every time I see you there, first thing I say, well, government won't open. And if it keeps on going, then we will go shut down everything, and everybody's going to lose out in the middle, and then we're going to be all broke, and we're all going to turn upside down. The world's going to end. Well, I wish it would hurry up, man, because I'm tired of being paranoid every time I get on YouTube and see your face, because I don't know what you're going to do next. You're the atheist of the United States. Dude, you're like the walking demon in the flesh. I feel like Lucifer has come back in your pocket because you're the biggest bigot. I'm sorry, but you're the biggest bigot on live television and live media I've ever seen since the guy that we killed and took over overseas that was killing their country people. Saddam. You were right next to him. You and USSR, but you're buddies. That's not good. You don't become friends with your enemies. Never become friends. Be alarmed, be aware, but you're not your buddy, you're not your friend. You got it confused here. You might be smart on making money, but you know how to lie to get it. You know how to screw somebody over. You know how to knock somebody down so you can get it first. You know how to trip them so that they can't get it, so you get it first. You know how to cheat. You know how to cut throat, and you know how to rush in. You know how to buy the pot out. You know, if I bid $500,000 and you only had $2 in a pot on poker, you wouldn't be able to win. You know why? Because you couldn't pay the plate to be able to stay in the game. Get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? You buy the pot every single conversation. We have no media. We have no rules. We have no laws. We have no freedom. We have no united. We have nothing because you got it in your pocket. Because you can buy it out. If you wanted a few islands, you could go buy them outright with one piece of paper and one pen and never lose a penny. Because it's making you revenue. If you bought $50,000 CDs and let them run 5 years, you'd make 5 times the amount. It don't matter what bank you put it in. You put it in the United Kingdom, in every country in the world, and still make at least 2 to 5% every year. You know that. I ain't stupid. I got a GED and a CNA, but I'm not exactly an idiot. I might be a poor country boy, but I'm not stuck up enough to put my mind on the line, knowing that I can buy out your pot, that I can send you out of the game packing your money, packing your game, and packing you off and out of the green turf of Washington. Do you realize even a voter cannot outvote or put you in? Do you realize all the electorals are all college students and you convinced a bunch of ignorant college students trying to learn an education to kiss other people's rear so that they could finally get ahead to start having somebody kiss theirs? And you learned it the best because you took it from college yourself. Electorals run the world because they are new. So like putting a tricycle on the highway and expecting it to be able to do what a car does. Stupid. Come on now. You are a diesel and you're in a small car lane with a tricycle. We the people are on tricycles. You're in a diesel and a tank built for a bank truck. You have no way, nobody can push you off the road because you can always run them over. And do. Media, Washington, the chair, it don't matter. You just write it off. If you want an executive order, you wouldn't have to worry about shutting the government off. We could veto it later like you're doing Obamacare. But you won't do that. You'd rather pick a fight and make a statement? No, you're bullying. You're bullying because you're rich and because you're stuck up and because you think you're on some other cloud and some other world and some other damn green earth other than where we are. You put your underwear on, you put your pants on, and you put your shirt on and your socks on just like I do. You mean nothing. You are nothing to nobody else more than me or anybody else here. That you need to wake up to. And what you also need to worry about is we run you. We own you. We the ones that bought you and put you in there. We pay your salary. Whatever protection you have till you croak, we pay for. And when you start showing this world some respect, you'll get it back. When you start listening to these people who put United in United, you start giving our freedom back, our promises back, and our ways back, the things that the United States promises to its citizens, then we'll start promising you what you want to achieve. Otherwise, cancer, whether I'm Democrat, whether I'm independent, or whether I'm Republican, I don't care what you think you are. You ain't 2 cents. Because I can still veto you out. Because I know how to talk to them college students just like you know how to. Yes. You can't BS a BSer. You can't lie or text or say something and think it's gold just because you can afford to buy the gold to set it up there. Anybody can make a poster. Anybody can draw a stick figure. But can you walk it to the actual gate and drop it off and not be in fear of what might be there or how you might look? You can't even fly over to a country to a country that's in fight because there's a fog and we can't land on an air carrier because we don't know how to land on that. Well, let's go 3/4 of the way. Let's go. Hell, we'll just go all the way back and waste all the gas, and I'll just go back to the Capitol. And I know there'll be a fog there probably because it's pretty early in the morning. But who cares? We can get down to Washington. It's all right. We'll use all the dead president's flares to lead us to the ground. Were you not even thinking of right mind when you left? Or wasn't thinking in your $5,000 wallet and you were somewhere in your hot air balloon brain, that big head of yours is bobbing around, not even thinking, let's go making an attempt so we can tell the whole world, I'm going to a big country. They might blow us out of the world. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna show it on the and with the big media we're gonna show it off. But you know what? You're a little tiny man because you can't get in public and show your manhood as a citizen, and you have to get all on the big old tower and beat your little chest and go and hold your little bum in your hand, and you own the world because you're Godzilla. You know what? Only for 2 years. You're still gonna be bobbing on somebody's, running on, of somebody's rearview mirror because you're not gonna be anything but an icon of a toy soon. Nobody's gonna respect you because you want to fight because you're a bully, not because that you're mean, not because you're not because it makes sense, but because you want it done, and so you're gonna throw a fit. Because you're not big enough a man to come halfway or to even write a bill or to do anything. You'd rather pout. I'm going to count. I just won't work with anybody until they come up to my nose because I can't even look below my nose. Excuse me. What made you so damn good? Let me ask you something. Are you Christ? Because I ain't seen you walk over an ocean or a river. What type of invisible person can think they're more mighty, more higher, and better off than any other human being that walks this earth? What makes it so important that you throw the biggest fit on Capitol Hill, that you go out to every media station, that you put everybody on the hot seat, that you fire 3/4 of the entire departments that help us even stay together as peoples? What makes it so bad that you have to implode the entire makeup of the land that we fight to build for the last 750 years? My people work their rears off in southern United States to feed you fat, rich people. And I have you to know you're the sorriest people in the world. While we worked our fingers to the bones, and our ancestors did, you set up their big bare bellies, fat behinds, and never left his feet unless you were walking to the bathroom. And you filled your women up because you could tell how they were whether they were rich or not by what they wore and how fat they were. That's sad. Roosevelt's the one that said it. I'm 44, but I don't know that. Do you? Can you recall a time when you only had peas or only had gravy and bread once a day for about 2 or 3 weeks before you got on your family's Social Security money pension check that somebody was in a crisis or we wanted to cut out checks until after the big tantrum? Because we want to throw a tantrum and not work with anybody, so we just won't hear anything at all, and we'll just blare out everybody else, and we'll fire everybody that we don't like just any time that we don't get along with them. Wouldn't it be nice to just rub you out of all existence just because we don't get along with you? Just rub you out. Rub your entire family out. You become another Kennedy. Poof! Gone. And we go ahead and seal that whole entire information down in some pit of some nowhere land till old 3,800. And we'll never see anything of it. Nobody gives a shit, and nobody will ever find out. Because why? Because like the Kennedys, you were so much better, get away with everything, we throw a tantrum, rather than working with the people and bringing United back and giving us the freedom, the promise, and the United that you promised to sit in that chair and give to each and one of the citizens on this land. You chicken, you white-faced bureaucrat, chicken, self-centered, stuck-up bureaucrat. You have a mockery in your back pocket, and you have a devil on your chest, and you have a black soul in your heart, and you're imploding our country. I hope you enjoy your bum being sucked up into the planet, because I'll sure enjoy it when the whole thing blows up and incinerates and has been sucked up into the Milky Way. And took all these people that have built enough hate up to blow this whole entire universe into a whole nother different sound, and all particles of floating dust. And I'll be happy, because for once I'll get my peace, I'll get the freedom, and I'll get off this prison of a world where everybody will practice every chance they can to cut somebody else's throat to make it to the top, like you. You are a prime example. You are a leader of the country. You are the richest person in the country. And of all things, you practice with all your family folks, like emojis, all lined up in a little domino effect. Ticka, 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 ticka. We're just going to be lined of I don't care, because I'm going to do what I want to. If you don't agree, kiss my rear, and I'm going to throw a fit. I'm going to hold my breath until you can't do it anymore. Because I'm richer than you. I can live by myself without you. And I'll be in charge for 2 years. And if you don't agree with me, in 2 years, I'll write an executive order right before I leave. Because why? Because you're stuck up and you're a bully. And we have bully rallies. You ought to be the first on the list we get rid of. And fine you every day for being the bully. You start this. You put this. And you're publicly marketing on the internet. And we cannot share our views, our thoughts, and our ways and be free and promised a free land, promised a safe home, and promised a safe and supported area and community. You can't promise. You're a liar. You're nothing. You're worth nothing. Your money means nothing. Your word means nothing. Your internet accounts should all be deleted. You're wasting time, data, energy, and all of Washington. Your electricity bill is through the roof. Why? You can't even save a penny. You know how you save a penny? Kill off 3 or 4, you'll have their pennies. That's how you do it. You're a cutthroat, backstabbing. You always say something. You walk out. You can't even finish what you do because you're always blaming it on somebody else. Because it's so much easier to pass it off. Fire three quarters of the entire government, states, and all this just to prove a point. Bullying always pushes people away, divides people. No promises, no safety, no united. You took this country and you divided it and you conquered it. You're a demon. I am so disappointed. I am so upset. You took everything that my family built for the 700 generations. You took them all in one term and exploded them and replaced them with everybody else. And you keep saying, we can't have any more illegals coming to the country. Yeah, we can, because we already got rules. Haven't you studied law, you nincompoop? If you're going to be in a place where you're going to be running law, you should at least know it before you start writing it. Before you throw a tantrum, know what's on the books before you throw the tantrum. Get an education. Quit using the mighty dollar to buy what you want or throw a tantrum because you can't get what you want. Be a man. I'm just upset. Please use this as a only personal way of being able to express myself in a creative, freedom way as an American